Good afternoon, Fields Corner. My name is David Leonard. I am the president of the Boston Public Library. I'll be your MC today for this very short speaking program, but first some opening remarks. So on this beautiful rainy day in Boston spring, we are thrilled to be able to mark this very important milestone for this project here, for the library, for the city, and for the community. And at a time when society, democracy, and yes, libraries are under threat, Boston is continuing its investment in its libraries and in its communities. This project is the latest in a program of citywide modernization for the Boston Public Library, which will, once complete, boast a reimagined, bigger and better Fields Corner branch library. Yes, on the original site. We are, after all, the first large municipal public library in the country, the first to have a branch, and so our branches are an essential aspect of our identity and our work, bringing to life all four roles articulated in our new strategic plan: the lifelong learning and research partner, your trusted resource, your welcoming destination, and your community engager, all of which delivered, as it has been since the beginning, free to all. And thank you to Mayor Wu, America, who continues to be the strongest champion of the library in all that we do. She and her family are also frequent visitors and users, and for all of the city has placed the library as a key civic and human services offering to residents. Thank you to the Fields Corner community for your vision, your voice, and your partnership throughout this journey. And I hope you believe, as I do, that as we worked on this concept together, through programming study and then design, these extensive community meetings became an example of collaboration, listening, and shared planning. And of course, along with our architects, PFD colleagues, and our passionate BPL staff, and now we see ahead the beginning of the new chapter for this beloved branch. With 14,500 square feet of reimagined space, including a 100-seat community room, classroom, study rooms, children's story time area, and even an outdoor reading terrace, this building will be much more than a traditional library. It will be a dynamic community hub, a place for lifelong learning, digital access, civic engagement, creativity, and connection. Libraries are democratic spaces where knowledge is freely accessible to all, where inclusion and equity are prioritized, and where communities come together. More essential than ever, libraries bridge divides, offer safe spaces, and empower individuals. We're especially proud that this branch will be the first in the BPL system to be built to the city's fossil fuel-free standard, targeting LEED Gold certification. It stands as a model for what's possible when sustainability, accessibility, and community-centered design come together. This new branch is a testament to the strength of partnership between the city and the library and the communities we serve. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate this important milestone, and we look forward to welcoming you back into this beautiful new space when we open its doors. And now it gives me pleasure to introduce our first speaker, the Mayor of the City of Boston, our civic leader and champion of all that Boston is, Mayor Michelle Wu.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you for all of your leadership, and thank you to the hard work and vision of your entire team. I've been so proud that we are making our way throughout the entire library system, and there's a plan and there's a process in place so that we're going through the pipeline as quickly as possible. I want to thank my colleagues in elected office who are here today, who you'll hear from in a little bit. Senator Collins, Councilor Murphy, Councilor Fitzgerald, thank you for what you do in the community. And of course, our incredible team who are making it possible for Boston to take on so many projects. Carlton Jones of our Public Facilities Department, and all of the team members who are here across the city's team working on libraries, schools, a fire station, community centers, pools, and so much more. We've been making incredible progress, and we've been doing more at once than ever before. And of course, looking forward to hearing from Jackie and Shamia Hicks in a little bit, representing our most important voices, our community leaders. So first and foremost, libraries, we all know, are about much more than the books. They're really about the home away from home for every generation of our community, and in that way, our trusted and beloved staff members at the library are like an extension of each and every one of our families in the neighborhood. So thank you to branch librarian Kim McCleary, whose presence has anchored this branch and the Fields Corner community for more than 15 years. Thank you to Liz Blake, Programs and Community Outreach Librarian. And thank you to Tan Nguyen, Special Library Assistant. I also want to recognize and thank Greg Stewartson, the beloved library custodian here at the Fields Corner branch. Shout out to Tom Sofrino for lending us the space for today's event, and to the owners of Chillon Park across the street, and Alan and Wendy Isaacson. They couldn't be here today, but every Tuesday they let Kim and Liz host library drop-in hours at the ice cream shop, and so that is an important tradition that neighbors who stop by for an ice cream, a cup or a cone of ice cream, also leave with their recommendations for the next thing to add to their reading list. So thank you to Tom, Alan, Wendy for your generosity and filling in, each doing our part. Okay, Jackie, you're going to hear from in a little bit, and I want to thank Jackie and all the residents here for being part of the meetings, helping to inform the design, and ensuring that this branch will reflect the needs and priorities of this community and this neighborhood. And finally, I want to take a moment to acknowledge a very special member of the community who's not here today and whose absence is felt by everyone. Jane Matheson loved this neighborhood and loved this library. More than anyone's, it was her voice who called for the renovation of this branch to better serve the community. Jane passed away last month, but for those who knew her, there is no question that her spirit is here with us today as we celebrate the rebuilding and will help drive and inform every part of the new library. Jane had an appreciation not just for this branch, but for the overall mission of the Boston Public Library, as you heard David talk about, to take all the different pieces that make up all of our communities and the many ways that we need to feel like we're part of that community, to bring them all together in a world where knowledge and resources are free and available to all, where we trust each other to be part of the same community and to share all that we can give, whether it's through the story hours or our talents and presentations and community spaces. That is what the Boston Public Library does every single day. So we're so proud to be delivering this to the community right here in Fields Corner, following a years-long process of planning and design, informed every step of the way by the community. And today we get to break ground on the brand new Fields Corner Branch Library of the Boston Public Library system. You heard about how it will have space for every generation of our community, for every community member, every culture to be represented, and all of those who make up this community to make it their own special place and their own home. I'm looking forward to the children's story area, where we will get to spend some time and let our littlest learners grow their imaginations. The community room, which will have many, many important discussions, I'm sure, about all of the exciting work happening in Fields Corner and Dorchester, and a terrace on the second floor for reading outdoors on days not like today, but ones that will feel a little bit more beautiful and sunny and warm. So thank you again to Carlton, Susan, to our entire public facilities team, David, and all of our BPL staff who have worked so hard to keep library services running while this renovation takes place. And thank you most of all to all of our residents here who have been so involved in building this special home. So I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. I will pass it on now to Carlton, followed by all of our elected officials who will say a word.
Wow, good afternoon, everyone. Oh, come on. I know it's cold out here, but good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right, some energy, yes. So it's my honor to follow Mayor Wu and the leaders who have helped make this happen, in particular Mayor Wu's leadership, Boston Public Library's President David Leonard, and of course our Chief Operations back there, Chief Dion Irish. I'm just going to take a few minutes to thank some of the folks who are key to having this project happen. In particular, we have Senior Project Manager Susan Phillipson, who's standing kind of in the back. there she goes. She's the one who's directly responsible working with our team to make this happen, along with Deputy Director Roan McNulty, who's back there. Hi, Roan. Assistant Director for Construction, Lisa Guscott-Wells. I saw her a moment ago. Okay, anyway, she's here, along with Assistant Director for Design, Evan Brinkman, who you can't miss, standing back there. And then the Clerk of the Works, who's here typically every day and will be Richie Higgins, whom I don't see, but he's also part of the project team. I also want to thank our consultants. In particular, we have the design team from Odenzello Architects, as well as our general contractors, J&J. They're over there somewhere. Okay, anyway, they're along in the crowd who make all of this happen. So thank you for your invaluable efforts, your hard work and dedication to get us to where we're going to be. And I just want to conclude by saying it's our distinct honor to be able to be here to support the families and residents of the city of Boston and making all of this happen. We get the fun part about, breaking things up and then building them up again. So that's our fun job. Now I'm going to turn it over to Senator Nick Collins. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Carlton, and to the Boston Public Library President David Leonard. I know Ray Hughes here representing the board, to the mayor and the council for seeing this project through. I want to thank the Fields Corner community. I know I saw Hip Chew and I saw Annie from Boston Little Saigon. We have business owners here for their collaboration and patience. But it's great to be here to celebrate this library. When I started my career in 2010, one of the main issues that came about was the closure of branch libraries. And I learned really early on that that meant so much to the communities, and not just that it was one of the few places in our society where everyone was welcome with the best brand in the business, free to all. Whether it's young people, middle-aged people, and older adults, that there's a place for everybody. Although this concept of community room where everyone can talk was different, because I definitely got thrown out of the library all the time for talking. So I want to thank the library system for making that adjustment. It also drove me to become a member of the Library Caucus, and we've been strong supporters. Actually, my first term, we were able to fund what's called the Library of the Commonwealth to support the library system here in Boston, and because they provide more than to the rest of the state. The state library system gets incredible support from the Boston Public Library in their digital archives, which has been a great service to the community at large. I also want to make mention of my colleague in the House, Representative Dan Hunt, who couldn't be here. He's tied up in a hearing, who's also been a strong supporter in the state budget. And, the legislature has a unique history with the library system, in that the Copley Library was created by the legislature before the city was incorporated. And then when the city became incorporated, took on this whole system, which now has branches in every community in Boston. So it's an honor to be here to celebrate the next phase of Fields Corner. Thank you all for having me, and thank you all for the work. And I'd like to next welcome up City Councilor at Large, Erin Murphy.
Thank you, Nick. Hello, everyone. Is everyone warm yet? It's a great conversation. It's great to be here. Neighbor right up the street, one of your at-large city councilors. I want to thank Carlton, Dion. I don't know if anyone else is here, but we had a budget hearing, several-hour budget hearing this morning. I know library's coming in tomorrow. So one of the great things on the council is to support and advocate the budget that the mayor has put forth and investing in, right, the ribbon cuttings that we do across the city. When I'm able to go to a ribbon cutting for a library, a new pool, I was at the Draper Pool last week, it just shows that we need to invest in our infrastructure to make sure that the next generation, right, but not just the next generation. Thank you to all the students I was talking to earlier for being here. Even like the seniors, right, every generation. We use libraries for so many different reasons. Thank you to the librarians. I was with the Friends of the Fields Corner Library at probably one of their last meetings before the building closed. And I know working alongside the staff at the library and all of the support from the city, their biggest concern was how will we continue the services that so many people in this neighborhood rely on. And thank you to Chill on Park. I love going there for ice cream, but knowing, that other businesses like them and just other community groups around the city in this neighborhood have stepped up, knowing that there is a void, and it just shows how needed our libraries are. So thank you to everyone who makes this possible. Excited, everyone has a great library story. When I was in 4th grade, we were closing libraries, and I was picketing at my local library on Adams Street, probably with you, Kim. We went to grammar school together. You know, we were closing libraries, but we were picketing to save the Adams Street Library then, which has been renovated a few years ago. So we'll continue to go through our city buildings, make sure that they stay here for generations. In this neighborhood, Little Saigon, Fields Corner, you know, you deserve what everyone else across the city has. So we're looking forward to being here when we open it for the ribbon cutting. But the groundbreaking today is the beginning. And I'll pass it off to your district councilor, my district councilor, John Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Erin. Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, it's great that the city can invest millions and millions of dollars right here in Fields Corner. It's a beautiful thing. We deserve it. Thank you. This is a community process that began back in 2018 in the previous administration. So, Mayor Wu, thank you for seeing it through to the end, and now we get to see it happen. That's awesome. Thank you to Tom Sofrito, as the mayor mentioned, letting us use this parking lot. I got towed from one of his lots the other day, but that was on me. I was in the wrong. David, President Leonard, thank you so much in shepherding this process, along with all the public facilities team. To the local architects, Rhodey Architects, based out of here in Dorchester, awesome, as well as Odinzello Architecture. Thank you very much, guys. And look, libraries, I didn't know this till you have kids, right? We talk about keeping families in Boston and what it's going to take. There's a library at the top of my street that was newly built, and me and my kids are there all the time, and they love to go to the library, and that can only mean good things. If they're at the library, I know they're learning, I know they're safe, and I know they're in good hands. And so now, down here in Fields Corner, we get to experience that as well, and I can't wait to see new libraries all across the city. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll now introduce our City Council President, Ruth C. Louis-Jean.
Good afternoon, Dorchester. I'm Ruth C. Louis-Jean, President of the Boston City Council and at-large City Councilor, and I'm so thrilled to be here with the Fields Corner community to celebrate the groundbreaking here of a library. Libraries are amazing because they are for everyone. They're open to everyone. They are free of charge, and Fields Corner is about to get a wonderful, wonderful library here. Like all of my colleagues have stated, libraries are critical. My parents will tell you they would not have made it in this country without libraries. They literally dropped me and my sisters off every day at the Lower Mills Public Library and picked us up. And our librarians were part of our care community. And the books allowed us to explore new worlds. So Fields Corner, you all are becoming bibliophiles, not only with this new library, but with Just Bookish down the street. Shout out to Bing. And so you are going to be the heart of where anybody wants a book, they come here to Fields Corner. We're happy to do our part here to support libraries on the Boston City Council alongside the mayor. I want to thank President Leonard for his leadership, to Heap, and to everybody here in the Fields Corner community. This is a wonderful day, and it will be an even better day. I'm sure the sun will be shining when we come for the ribbon cutting. Thank you.
Okay, a bird just pooped on my head, so good luck for the library. They're still out, even though they're right. Most of all, we are so excited to hear from our community members, so please come on up. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for all that you do.
Good afternoon. My name is Shamia Hicks, and as president and on behalf of the Fields Corner Civic Association, we want to thank Mayor Michelle Wu, the Boston Public Library, the Public Facilities Department, the Office of Neighborhood Services, and the contracting and design teams. Many of us have grown up with the Fields Corner Library. Generations of children and families have come here. And because of our amazing mayor, we have over $30 million in investment into Dorchester and our Fields Corner community. So, which is a great deal for us. Fields Corner Library has served us well for decades, and we're so happy and grateful, and hope that it continues to serve us for many more decades. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Jackie Westdevine. I'm the director of Fields Corner Main Street, but you may also know me as Oliver and Georgia's mom. Oliver is a first grader at Russell Elementary in Columbia, and Georgia's been at Boys and Girls Club for 2 years now, and we're very excited. This is our first round as a family to be in K0 this fall. Woo! So today I prepared a couple of remarks. I hope you don't mind, to speak about the library as a whole of who I am: a mom, a resident, and a neighborhood advocate. So I grew up in a faraway land, I often tell people, across the river in a land called Somerville. But when my husband and I started dating, he was in love with Dorchester. And when we would walk through the neighborhood in those early days of our courtship, I soon fell in love with it too, because it felt like home. And so it was a no-brainer that this is where we would raise our family. So I'm going to start with my work lens because I feel very passionate and I don't want to scare you guys. So as a Main Street director, the Fields Corner Library means so much. It's an incredible resource to the community. It's a neutral and welcoming space for people to engage in civil discussions, including the many debates that happened about the very things that would happen in this library, whether or not there would be living space, for example. Heated discussions, important discussions happened here. We celebrate holidays, we have workshops, we learn new languages. We get important information to our residents, and each of us gets to grow professionally, intellectually, creatively, and sometimes even spiritually. And importantly, the library is also a place for physical comfort, and something that we're discussing with the city councilors right now. And it's a place that we'll continue to grapple with this summer. The library is a place that we warm up from the cold in the winter. It's a place that we cool off in the summer. We can get a cool glass of water. We can charge our devices. We can get a drink of water, like I said, or relieve ourselves, use the restroom. Public restrooms are a huge resource that we get from the library. We get to recharge ourselves and the needs that we get from, and while we do that, we can engage in the world-class novel, a fresh newspaper, or even a trade magazine. Libraries truly are for everybody. Now, if that wasn't passionate enough, let me tell you about how I feel about it as a mom. Did you guys know that the library is someplace that you can go with your kids, and both you and your kids can get taken care of and engage? Like, you can actually learn something, you as a mom, while your kids learn something at the same time. All right. But it's also safe when you have a 1-year-old. Like, your 1-year-olds can go and not do something incredibly dangerous, like bang their head. And sometimes there's a music room, or there's an object library. You can borrow things like a telescope for when your son's really into space. But more than anything, we're just really grateful that this library is coming to us, because a beautiful library can be quite literally an attraction that brings us all in. So thank you, Mayor Wu. Thank you to everyone who helped bring this to Fields Corner. We're so grateful. Thank you.
So thank you, everybody. Can we just do one more giant round of applause for all our speakers? And we have one more piece of business to do, which is the official ceremonial groundbreaking. We're not actually going to break the ground, but we are, yeah. We good? Yeah. We're gonna have the speakers come across the street, and we're going to do the ceremonial groundbreaking there. We're also joined by two of our trustees from the Board of Trustees for the Library, Chairman Ray Liu and Joe Berman. So thank you for being here as well. And then we are going to be back with you. You're all going to be watching the building come down and the new one go up, and then we are going to be back with you all for a super ribbon cutting. So stay tuned, keep an eye on us, and thank you all so much for joining us today to mark this milestone.